just imagine, we all know it, you're mindlessly scrolling on the couch, you're eating a sandwich, in my case there are some crumbs down the jumper, and suddenly you're scrolling and something kind of slaps you in the face. And so with me, it was some bloke walking around the gym, but he wasn't walking around normally, he was walking around on his hands. No wobbling, no struggling, just gliding along the floor like some smug upside down panther. Not a single sweat to be seen on him. And I thought, who the F is this? And what kind of species is this? So this species is someone who can't get off the couch without sounding like an old person. But the guy I saw walking upside down was Daniele Scuteri, and he's a breathwork and wellness coach and a certified instructor. So he's joining us today. He'll teach us about breath, stress, energy, and we've actually got a 5-minute grounding exercise Daniele is going to walk us through. So welcome everybody to yet another episode of the Coach Me If You Can podcast. So Daniele, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Peter, for this beautiful introduction. I'm super excited to be here today. And, to be honest, there were a lot of sweat under my, head after walking on my hands.
Let's kick it off, Daniele. Imagine someone sitting on the couch, burned out, emotionally raw, stressed, perhaps illness in the family, barely sleeping well. They're trying to control everything around them, their calendar, their meetings, their children, outcomes in life, but nothing feels like it's in control. So just imagine you walk in and you see that person on the couch. It's just you two in the room. What would you say to that person?
So, first of all, I needed to look to this person and I just to identify how this person breathes. Then I will ask you just, a simple and easy question. Hey man, what is the first thing that you'd like to change in your life?
What would be the first thing that you'd like to change in your life? That's a good question. I mean, if I think back to, it kind of describes me 2 years ago, that example. And I think I would have definitely said, I want to get fit. I want to feel better in my own skin. Now it's 2 years further, Daniele, and so I've lost 30 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot through healthy eating. But I think the first thing I would have said then is losing weight, feeling healthy again. But I'm just imagining someone on the couch, could be a lot of things in that kind of a situation.
Yeah. The answers that people will give to me, they can be, so they can share with me so many things. But as a coach, you have just one goal in that moment, just help that people to talk. That's the main goal. And you have to be able to create a connection. You have to share empathy. You have to respect their state. And without judgment, you have to help me. You have to help him just to talk. That's the first real goal, because at times, I also have a coach, and at times, as a person, as a human, you just have to talk and unfold what you have in your mind.
And you also mentioned breathwork in the beginning, so you would want to know how that person breathes. Can you tell us a bit about that?
For sure. So there is a very strong connection between the way we breathe and also our nervous system. The connection, I'll try to resume a little bit how complex is our body inside and how it works. But, how we breathe sends some specific signals to our nervous system. the nervous system is composed by two different, paths. The first one is the sympathetic nervous system, and the second one is the parasympathetic nervous system. The first one is, linked by fight and flight mode. We have to run from the lion. That's when we activate that type of path of the nervous system. If we want to calm down and slow down, we have to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And there are specific techniques like, slowly exhales that helps us to activate that part of our body and help us to feel more calm, to release anxiety. And, the connection is very easy to understand. Breathe, nervous system, brain. And that's why our mental state and everything is strictly correlated with our breathing. How we breathe can truly change how we live our day.
I also think it's so interesting listening to you speak. I'm also thinking about this paradox, the guy on the couch trying to control everything outside his body, and he's not trying to control much on the inside of his body.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something we could keep as an anchor for today's conversation, Daniele, kind of trying to control something on the inside.
Yeah, for sure, Peter. That's a great point. We spend a lot of time, a lot of energy just to focus on a lot of different things and try to control things that we cannot control, like, the thoughts of other people. Maybe the best option that we have is start to try to focus on what we can control. And I'm assure you, as a breathwork coach, that we can always, at almost in the 90% of situations, we can control our breath.
Interesting. What's one of the main misconceptions in your mind when it comes to breathwork that people have when they think of breathwork?
I had to face a lot of issues to try to help people with the breath, because it's something that we usually do more than 20,000 times per day, but we don't think about it. We just focus maybe on nutrition, on we know that we have to work out to feel better, but we still don't think about something that help us to go more deep. And it's not easy. I don't want to simplify maybe something that it's not easy, because it's like you have to convince people that you need something, and it's not easy. It's not easy because these people have to choose that breathing they can help us. It's like a process, and in this process, one important thing we have to know as a coach, as a business owner, is that we have to work with a lot of psychology. That's the main important thing, and we have to accept that this can be a long process, that maybe our clients will not feel better in just one session or two.
Interesting. So we collected a couple of fact-fiction statements for you, dear Daniele. So it's called Fact Fiction, 5 statements to be exact, and you get about a minute apiece to reflect if you want to afterwards. Ready for the first one?
Yeah, for sure.
Mouth breathing is just as effective as nasal breathing.
False. Totally false. Our nose has more than 30 breathing structure that help us to breathe properly. A crucial point about nasal breathing is also the production of nitric oxide. And, this is a natural gas that our body naturally produce, and we can produce that with nasal breathing and also with apnea, But, with mouth breathing, we can lose the effect of nitric oxide.
So you breathe most of the time through your nose, or you've trained yourself to all the time?
Yeah, but what I usually say is you have to breathe 80% of your time with your nose, then just 2% with your mouth for emergency and for specific breathing techniques.
Interesting. Okay. Number 2, a deep breath always calms the body.
Yes, it's absolutely correct. But when we talk about deep breathing, we have to be sure to activate really our diaphragm, because we have to activate the entire section of our lunges. And that's a crucial part, because if when people go usually to the doctor and the doctor says, please take a deep breath, that's one, it's not a deep breath. That's what is not a deep breath. It's just an upper chest breathing. If we want to breathe deeply, we have to feel first our belly expand. Then we have to expand our rib cage. And then just that finally we can work with this part with our chest.
Wow. So I wonder how many people most of the time just stay in this kind of shallow chest breathing and don't actually breathe down to the diaphragm. Okay. You can breathe your way out of stress almost instantly.
Yeah, I have true, absolutely. And then, my way to reduce stress in a quick way. And, it's not always easy, because when you run every day, maybe even if I'm a breathwork coach, at times I forget to breathe. And so in that times, okay, now I will stop and I'll take some deep breath. And how do I usually do this type of breathing? I, stop maybe still yeah, on a chair, and just I usually use this speed of breathing, maybe 4 or 5 seconds, just breathing in through my nose, and then I slowly exhale through my nose, or maybe with my mouth, like this. Exactly, like let it go, because we need to send some very clear signals to our nervous system and also to our brain that everything is fine. It's not yeah.
And it sounds almost like a gym exercise one has to repeat so that it becomes something that feels familiar. Because when I just did it straight away, it's still foreign. It's not a used kind of. I'm not used to that yet.
Yeah, there is a specific breathing technique. I will create a post next week about this topic, because I think it's crucial. There is a specific technique from the oxygen advantage method that helps also to control panic attack. It's very easy, but at the same time, it's very powerful, because we have to take our hands and, put our hands in front of our mouth and cover our nose as well, like this. We have to close our hands, the hair is not to pass through our hands.
I've often seen
And
people do
then,
that with bags sometimes when
yeah,
they're.
exactly. And then we just have to follow a slow pace. 1, 2, 3, inhale. 1, 2, 3, exhale. I'm talking about 1 to 3 seconds. A little bit slow compared with that. And we have to repeat this pattern until the panic attack is finished. Because in a lot of situations, people don't know how to do in this moment. And if you know this simple technique, you can calm down just in 4 or 5 minutes.
And it gives the individual something to focus on, because often you see that in movies where they said, focus on your breathing, just focus on your breath, focus on your breath. So most people don't need to train their breath. It's automatic.
That's totally false. One of the things that I truly believe is that we need to teach how to breathe properly in school, because there is a right way to breathe, and it's very easy to understand. We have to breathe engaging our diaphragm, so every single breath we do, it has to be slow, and it has to be very deep with our diaphragm. Also, we have to breathe very slow. The right pace is 5 seconds inhale and 5 seconds exhale. This rhythm, it's about 6 breaths in 1 minute. And at the end, we just have to breathe for 90-80% of the time with our nose. And then, after some trainings, and it's better doing that if you are a child, the right path, it will become automatic. So yes, to answer these questions, but just if you did the right training.
Interesting. The last one. Sleep and the quality of sleep and breathwork aren't related.
False. There is I honestly talked a lot with other people about this main factor, and there is a strong connection between our breathing pattern and also the sleep quality. If you work on breathing pattern using the right breathing techniques, like the ones that I learned from my oxygen advantage training, you can help your body to improve your breathing pattern, and there is a very high possibility that you will improve your sleep as well. Then I use I use to tape my mouth during the night, because if you start to breathe through your mouth during the night, you will lose the benefits that you can reach during the day with your training. It's like if you are going to the gym and then every night you will eat at fast food. It's the same metaphor. So you train during the day, and during the night you have to breathe through your nose as well.
So in your mind, the quality of sleep, or getting a better quality of sleep, doesn't start just before you go to bed. It starts during the day as well.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
The day before, the week before.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, when we get later or now into the coaching session, we can definitely speak about that, because sleep is something I would like to improve, in sleep and breathwork. What's up, lovely people? Quick one from me. So I just wanted to say thank you for supporting the show. It means the world to me. If you're enjoying these episodes, here are 2 simple ways you can support the show moving forward. One would be to subscribe on whatever platform you enjoy these episodes on. That would be amazing. And the other one is I'm planning something special. I'm planning a newsletter once a week, 1.5 minutes to read. Doesn't take you long to read at all. 90 seconds flat. I want to distill some of the coaching wisdom I'm getting on some of these episodes, make them really easily digestible for you, announce new episodes, announce new guests, like the new one we have coming soon. Danny Fontaine recently interviewed Simon Sinek on his podcast. He's a pitch doctor, someone who works at IBM, experimental sales, and wrote a book called Pitch. Head over to www.coachmeifyoucan.show and click on I'm Coaching Curious. You'll join the waiting list. I'm getting my ducks in a row, but there'll be a newsletter soon, and I'd love for you guys to jump on board. Now to the show. So Daniele, we now enter the heart of the show. It's the coaching session. So we can spend something like 30 to 45 minutes on a coaching session. You're the coach in this equation. I hand you the reins. I stop playing the host and I become the coachee. And just to get us started, I'd made some notes because I had some reflection about my situation, just to give you a bit of to set the scene, let's say. So that guy on the couch was definitely me 2 years ago. And if I fast forward now, my life has improved immensely. I've shed 30 kilos of weight. However, stress is still a big issue. I have a fantastic job. I traded a job that completely burned me out, or was a contributing factor, to a job where I love the colleagues. I love what the company does. I love my work there, but it comes at a cost. It can be stressful because it's a high stress kind of a field. And so I'm one of those guys who are always trying to control things. The calendar, how much time people get from me, a team, the outcomes of a team. And I notice that when I'm having a particularly stressful time, especially when at work, when there are things that I can't really control, that's when stress peaks. And that's also when my sleep quality tanks. I have two beautiful young children, and should something happen during the night and I need to get up, if I'm in that stress state, I won't fall back asleep again. It will take me a long, long, long time. The mind will just go to the issues that are unsolved, almost like a fly going to the light the whole time and banging against the light. That's something. It's not every day, but it's definitely kind of correlated to the stress I have at work. And I also am not great at shifting gears. I have a home office. I love working from home, but the moment I close the laptop, it's typically I run downstairs to be with my family. They might even be at the dinner table already. And switching gears is kind of sometimes difficult. So let's see. I would describe my energy as most of the time drained at the moment, mentally kind of foggy. Yeah. That's what those were my notes for our session today. You didn't ask for them, but I thought I wanted to think about what I definitely wanted to bring into the session.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter, for sharing, your experience. I truly appreciate your honesty, because it's not always easy to share something more challenging for ourselves. And let me know just if I deeply understand your statement. You just shared with me that you truly love what you are doing with your job, and also you are struggling to from brain fog, and also to find the balance with the energy that you are putting in your works, and the time that we spend with your family.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have a question, a first question for you. What is the main thing that drain your energy while when you are at work? If you have, I know that there are a lot of things.
No,
but
I think I know. I think I know. It's typically something when I have a plan and other things creep up and I can't really do the work at a standard that I would like to do it. And also specifically if there are events being planned, imagine a presentation that I have to deliver, a workshop that I have to manage, but I don't have all the details and I feel like I can't do the preparation to the level that I usually do because meetings are just being booked in, and it's kind of that feeling that you can't work to the standard that you usually would like to work. And that's just because it's very busy at the moment at work. So that is a big struggle for me. And I think it comes back to kind of control. You want a certain degree of control a way to prepare for a meeting. And if you can't, then that could be stressful, especially if it's a, let's say, high stakes event, big important clients, a big important workshop, and you feel like you don't have what you need to do the job in a way that you would like to do it, because time is being taken away on other topics.
Other topics?
Yeah, so other topics could be meeting requests, other projects, important client meetings. At the company where I work, your time is a very valuable resource, but it also, lots of people want it. If you're, I mean, like you are a breathwork coach, a wellness coach. I work in the security space and I'm a kind of subject matter expert. That means a lot of people want to talk to me for my opinions on things, or they want to involve me in stuff. So my calendar is like a war zone at work, but that's something I'm working on. But I definitely notice for myself, if I have important things planned and I feel like I can't do all the prep, then that is stressful. That results in stress because I want to do a fantastic job. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if I deeply understand your situation, it means that you are, you really love your job, but at the same time, it seems that you like to work a lot on your performance.
Yes.
And for you, it's very important to deliver a great job and to maybe to show how valuable is how what you're doing and what you're doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Especially I'm also new at the company, so that also comes in. You're new, you want to secure your job, make your mark, and I think a lot of the things I'm doing today will be easier in a year's time if you aren't as new anymore.
Okay, I'd like to ask you another question. If you can change a specific thing that maybe can improve your actual situation and also can help you to deal with this overwhelming stuff, what can you do in in a concrete way, maybe from tomorrow morning?
I would say safeguarding an hour, maybe an hour is too difficult, but ideally an hour towards the end of the day of making sure all the meetings are in the calendar. I kind of know what to expect the next week. And I have a kind of an hour towards the end of every day where I actually don't take meetings. And I just kind of oil the machine and make sure that I am making the notes that I want to make. I'm preparing for the sessions, and I have the kind of a me hour where I just take everything that's in my brain, put it on paper, so that at night when something pops up, oh, you haven't done that, those things I want to avoid. So I think the answer to your question would be like having that a 1 hour non-negotiable, not a wind down, how people typically talk about wind downs, but a wind down at work in terms of all of that that's up here needs to go in a place that I won't forget it the next day. And that, organizing myself.
Yeah, totally understand. And what is stopping you from, doing this action? Because you just have the solution.
Yeah, it's such a good question. I almost hate it, because I've heard that kind of line of questioning before, and it's so good. Nothing's stopping me from doing that. I suppose at times I don't know if it's difficult to say no sometimes, but yeah, I'm not accustomed to saying like, "Hey, no, this is my hour. Sorry, I'm at capacity today. We please set up a meeting tomorrow." I think I can start doing that more proactively. So to answer your question, your good question, even though it annoyed me initially, because it's like, yes, of course, nothing's stopping me from doing that.
This I think is great because everything starts with awareness, and after reaching enough awareness, we have to start to take action.
I don't think there's anything stopping me. So come Monday, that's something I'm going to do immediately and see how that feels. And also try and defend my hour. Fake block it, call it some strategy meeting, with a code or something. Like I'm definitely busy then, and use it to organize my stuff. Because then I think that would help the shift when I close my laptop and run downstairs. It's all out of my brain on paper, so to speak.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I'd like to know a little bit more about how your agenda works.
Sure. Well, most of my work is determined by the calendar invites with clients, with colleagues, with those kind of things. And I've started using a coloring system in my calendar. It's a bit complicated, overly complicated, but my work is complicated because you have meetings with colleagues, meetings where a client is present, you have travel, you have in-person meetings, digital meetings. And so at the moment, I have the color blue for meetings with colleagues, the color yellow for meetings with clients. Green is self-directed work, where I kind of block an hour or two just to do work, kind of deep work. Gray is travel, and then I block those days out as I'm out of office, so I'm not available.
Best
And
color.
and yeah, I think that's it. I used to use a different system, but I'm kind of happy with this one at the moment, because looking quickly at my calendar, I can see how many meetings with clients are there. That's like a alert I need to prepare. How many meetings with colleagues am I having? And ideally, I also want green meetings where I'm determining the work that I do, but also to study, to learn, to do kind of sharpening the saw. Maybe coaching could fit into that category, right? Something where I'm just working on myself.
Yeah. So, what comes to your mind if I would ask you to insert some little space in your calendar, maybe with another color, just to stop and breathe? What comes to your mind? What is your feeling about it?
Immediately, I thought, like, is that a habit I would continue? And I don't know if the calendar is the right place for that, because my calendar, there's so much in there. But a kind of a primer, something that reminds me, take a breath, dude. Like, remember your breathing, and kind of focus on what's going on here, not outside. I love the idea of that concept. So I'm all up for a reminder. I just don't know if I want more stuff going on in my calendar.
That's totally, I absolutely understand, because my agenda is crazy as well. And I don't want to add any other stuff on my calendar. So, an easy way to incorporate just, 1 minute of breath, maybe every hour, or it's fine just one time every 2 hours. It's just to set on our phone an alarm, or on our watch, on our phone. We have all the tools that
Mm,
help us to remember that at times we have to slow down and
mm,
just breathe.
mm. I think before client meetings, I can definitely do that. Before a meeting in general, if one's there, one's ready, one's got a couple of minutes to kill, that's the perfect moment. But also in this wind down hour that I'm going to be reclaiming, I think I can also do that then for sure.
Yeah. We don't have to do any fancy stuff. We can just, practice an easy box breathing, like following this path. 4-second inhale, then hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold your breath again for 4 seconds, like a square. And that's it for some minutes, and we are ready for the meeting.
Nice. I love it. I'm going to definitely try it. what about talking about sleep? So we spoke a bit about now the calendar stress. Also, we have an antidote, something to try, a new kind of habit to create. I love the hour of the kind of wind down hour towards the end of the day. But I wanted to prick your brain about breath work and sleep in particular. I mean, it has to do with stress, so we spoke a little bit about
Sure.
stress. But how can I go about this? Because I really want to focus on my sleep quality. And I'm
That's
curious about the role breath work can play, both in the lead up to sleeping, but also when you're stressed out in bed, the light is on, nobody's home, but you're still awake. And yeah, what can you do in those moments?
yeah. I'd like to remove just for 1 minute my hat of coach and just to explain
Yeah,
a
please.
little a little bit how the breathing work, the breath work can help us with sleeping. I truly believe that the best way to improve our sleeping quality is to working with the oxygen advantage protocol. This means that in 3-4 weeks of daily work about breathing, we can reach the goal of a functional breathing pattern. There is a specific test, very easy to perform, that help us to define the starting level of a breathing quality about a specific person, and from that we can create a tailored path on that people with specific exercises. It's not a very easy path because you have to work more or less 30 minutes per day, but the good news is that we can mix the breathing with other things. Like specific techniques, you can do that maybe while you are walking to reach your job place, or maybe when you are on the sofa and watching TVs. But, you have to convince your brain that if you want to improve, you have to do the work. And the oxygen advantage help us to reaching a functional breathing pattern, and that's the goal. On the second hand, there is an easier way, just with simple techniques, we can slow down before going to bed, but this is just the surface. It
Hmm.
can help if we are not so stressful, but if we want to go deeper, we need to improve our breathing pattern. That's the way.
Interesting. So the stuff I could do on the in the short term is more like the duct tape solution, but you would actually like a more kind of foundational thing. So this is something where you'd work with your clients over
Yeah.
weeks to actually get there. Okay.
So I have now a question about your sleep.
Hmm.
You mentioned that at times you go to bed, you start to sleep, and then you wake up during the night, and you are not able to sleeping quickly in that right moment. So would you like to describe a little bit more the sensations, and also if you found a sort of pattern of situation that lead you in
Oh
for,
yeah.
for that issue?
Oh, perfect example. So I think it was last week, a very hectic week, lots of work. And I had a meeting the next day with a room full of some of the most important companies in the Netherlands, a kind of an important event. And I wasn't able to prepare as much as I usually prepare. So I did a bit of preparation. And then I was just about to look at the train schedule for the next day. And I saw all the trains are going to have a problem. And I thought,
Damn.
damn, because it's such a busy time at the moment at work. I had actually thought the 90 minutes that I spend in the train, I can spend it to finish the PowerPoint presentation. I can prepare, It's a direct train. I love it, right? So I have those 90 minutes guaranteed. And just the evening before, I look, trains are out. So then I had like a double whammy, as the Americans say, or a double-barreled problem, as the English probably would say, where the time that I wanted to prepare the next day during the train, gone, like a fart in the wind, gone. And what made it worse is I had to drive with the car. I wouldn't be able to prepare, and it was just shit, right? And this was in the evening beforehand. And I don't want to stay late nights, work these things through then. So I just thought, okay, I'm going to sort it out tomorrow morning. I'm going to go extra early by car, and then maybe I can sit in a cafe and finish everything. So that is the perfect storm in my mind for them waking up in the middle of the night, either to go to the toilet or to help one of my children with something. And then when I rest back down in bed, my mind straight away to the problem, zzz, like that fly to the light. And the fly investigates every aspect of the problem. It thinks, and it kind of, and it's almost that is easier than relaxing in that moment, that my mind has learned its ways. It's a superpower when you need it, when you need to think of something. But when you don't need it, and it's the autopilot function of your mind, then it's really a problem. And I have very little energy then. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. All I want to do is sleep. But my mind, the easiest thing is to just think about the problems that there are. This used to be frequent when I had a burnout two years ago, and then reinvention, the weight loss, etc., etc. This nowadays is not common at all, but it also brings back the feeling. It sucks you straight back to where you were back then. This losing, I suppose, also losing control in some way. You can't. You know what you need, but you can't really get there. You're lying at night with your mind racing, and all you actually want is to relax, get sleep, recharge, because that's what you need to.
Yeah. This resonates deeply because, in the past, I had some trouble about that. And the good news is that today I will share with you some easy techniques that maybe can help you. But before going into this specific technique, I have another question with you. You told me that you recognize a clear pattern that lead you in this specific state, in this specific situation. So, do you think that it's possible for you in the future, maybe learning from the previous experience, to I know it's not easy to stop the anxieties, to stop the problems during the day, but in some ways you figure out how to do that, how to do that. So if you have enough experience, maybe to manage better in the future this type of situation. Do you think for you it will be possible to improve during, because life happens in the future, challenging situation with your busy work, it will happen again?
Yes, for sure. I mean, there's the aspect of preparing better, looking at the calendar, making sure you block time to work on the things that are coming. So being more organized, that's one. And usually it's also an interesting one. Usually I do a very good job. And that's kind of to be honest, with a lot of my work, it's kind of the status quo, right? But still, I can make it seem like the world is falling apart. It's a disaster. But because the standard is up here, if you aim for that standard, it's always kind of good. But when things then don't go to plan, I remember telling my wife on the way after that meeting, no, it went fantastic, and the audience even laughed, and it was really nice, and I had good conversations. And then I looked at myself, and I was talking to my wife, and I was like, all of this for nothing, huh? Like, but if it had gone wrong, it would have been, a Greek tragedy. It would have been, in my mind, it would have sucked. But so to answer your question, yes, two parts, I think. One is also just looking at all the past things. They've always gone relatively well, even if sleep has been bad. It's not as bad as I think it will be. Everything doesn't depend on the outcome of that. And the one I can definitely control very easily is planning more time, being more structured when it comes to work.
I truly believe that this can be a good start, a good approach. And at the same time, I think before going to the specific technique, I'd like to ask you another question.
Please.
Do you have a sleep time routine? Or, I'd like to know, what do you usually do from, maybe if you go to bed at 11 o'clock, maybe, I don't know, what do you do from 8 to 11?
I'm usually with my wife on the couch, and we're watching something on Netflix. We're kind of, after a busy day with the kids, we put them to bed. We've had dinner already, and the kids are sleeping. We come down and we collapse on the couch, and we try and find something nice on Netflix, and that's what we watch. And then 5 minutes before we go to bed, dunk, the television goes off. We take the dog for a last, so that the dog can do its business outside, and go upstairs, brush teeth, and go to bed.
So I truly believe that the last part with just take a walk with the dog help you. I suggest you to avoid your phone in every way in that moment, and just try to stay here with your dog, and try to enjoy the fresh air on your face. And
That's a
this
great
is,
idea.
I don't know, do you usually take your phone during that
No,
moment?
and usually it's I take my dog about 10 meters where there's a little field. But we live in a nice neighborhood. It's easy for me to just walk once around the block, or to the beginning of the park, which is like a 2-minute walk. There's a park. So I could do that more, and that could become a nice routine. And if it's only 5 minutes, I think my wife can even join sometimes.
Yeah, when we talk about habits, it's crucial to start small. The error that can, the mistake that can do a lot of coaches or teachers, etc., it suggests to people to incorporate a lot of new things in their busy agenda. We don't work like that. We just have to start with a simple thing, and just try to incorporate that. And with time, if this if this habit is healthy, we will feel the improvements. And just walking, there are a lot of scientific studies that show that our brain, how works our brain, change change when we start walking, especially in a natural environment. And just 10 minutes can make a huge difference for to just close our day in a different way
I
without
love it.
screen.
I love it. And it's very doable for me. The little thing would be to put on my jacket, because usually I walk out in a t-shirt to that little field. And now it would be putting on my jacket so that I can walk down the street, or maybe once around the block.
That's fantastic.
It's very doable.
That's fantastic. And I have also a quick tip for it's like a natural pills. If you start to wake up in the middle of the night, I usually suggest people to try to do some body scanning. how does this work? Because our brain, it's not multitasking. Our brain has able just to do one thing at a time. And if we focus our attention on our body sensations, at the beginning can be a little bit tricky because our brain try to jump from thoughts to body
Mm,
sensation. It's like a ping pong.
mm,
But with the right awareness, and especially with a strong awareness of our breath, we will start, to. It requires a little bit practice, but with practice, we can feel a very huge improvement with just, try to feel your feet, then your knees, then the contact between your lower back and the bed, and do these things from the feet to the head and to the head to the feet for 5, 6, 7 times. And with the
mm,
right focus on your body sensation, you will prevent overthinking because we can
mm.
think just one thing at a time.
That's so interesting. So starting from the toes, going through your body, feeling the sensation, feeling whether your body connects with the bed, maybe how heavy it feels or how light it feels, and kind of going through your body. And every time you think about something else, or like as you said, that ping pong comes out, just bring it back and start continuing with the scan to the body.
And when we overthink, our body can feel rigid. We feel a sort of tension. And the other important thing is to embrace what comes.
Mm,
So if some thoughts about works, about problems comes, okay, it's totally fine. We embrace that, and then we have to let it go.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
like Tai Chi, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'd love to talk about that. So that's one thing I have on my list of things to learn because I walk my dog during the day. I walk my dog to the park, and there's one guy, and he's there, and he's doing Tai Chi religiously on the same field in the same spot, and it looks so different. It looks so peaceful. Um, yeah, I never want to bother him and say like, "Hey, is this Tai Chi?" because I kind of know the answer, but
Mm.
I kind of want to find out the details. But it has something very peaceful about it and different and very foreign to anything that I know, and that's why I'm kind of attracted to that. But um,
And you told me that you are going to the gym and that you lose a lot of weight.
yeah.
And I'm curious, do you love going to the gym or do you love the final outcome?
So I actually lost the weight without going to the gym.
Okay.
It was mainly food related. I went down a rabbit hole, learning about what really healthy food is, what the kind of food that if a doctor from the gut would look at your plates, he or she would salute you. This is very healthy. You can eat it. That was the goal, and I limited alcohol use, which had become a habit, nothing exceptional, but like we were living in Germany at the time, 3 beers a night, kind of becoming a habit of winding down, right? And that went away, and the focus on food, really healthy food, happened. And I've spoken about it on the podcast before, but there were 2 challenges I had in front of me. One was the weight, 3 challenges. One was the weight. One was my eczema. I had like really bad eczema on my hands, a skin problem, and GI issues, so gastro issues. And I just didn't want to continue like that. So I said, I'm going to do everything I can to see which one of these problems I can tackle. And through food and healthy eating, all 3 went away. So the skin problem, the gut problem, and the weight. And now I feel like I'm in the perfect position to start exploring going to the gym. I'd love to be able to walk on my hands like you. I think that is just a very cool, weird party trick to do. But something like, I want to feel strong in my body again and healthy, and that kind of an aspect, more in touch with the body. And I feel like now is a good moment to start that. But as I said as well earlier on, a lot of brain fog, a lot of kind of the average feeling is tired and lots of caffeine. But I love caffeine. Don't take away my La Marzocco machine, my Italian espresso machine. But yeah, so that's something. I feel like now I have space to look into going to the gym. And I do know that if I do, or if I go for a run, I feel amazing. So good. So good. It's night and day with how I usually feel. Yeah.
The magic of endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin.
Oh man. And my wife almost has to defend herself when I come from going from a run. My energy is extremely high, dancing to music, joking around, and she loves it, but she can definitely tell this guy is full of beans, you say in English. So he's got big plans for the day.
Yeah, totally. That's fantastic. It seems that you create a strong path, a strong, healthy path, one habit at a time. And I absolutely love it because, this is not just a habit. This is just your lifestyle now.
Yeah.
And, this is the process to incorporate gym or everything you want just to move your body. You don't have to go to the gym if you don't like it. There are a lot of sports. The main thing is to enjoy the activity.
Yeah.
But, this is the last piece that you just have to feel.
I think so too. And I think similar to what you said with the food being a lifestyle, there's zero risk of me going back to the old ways just because I've ended up being someone who can cook better food, more healthy, more tasty. It's a win-win-win for everybody. The whole family enjoys that. So there's zero risk of going back to the food I used to eat, or that as a family we used to eat. And once you have that level of awareness, you've educated yourself. Yeah, that's what I want in the gym area, either running. Also interested in climbing. I saw people climbing up a wall, and that looked very technical and interesting, and also very different, similar to that the guy doing Tai Chi in the park. Very, very different to what I've imagined. And to your point, I also want it to be fun and not like homework. A homework that you have to do. So I want also to find something that kind of resonates with me. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. Congratulations for your results. You are absolutely on the right path, man.
Thank you. So you mentioned we might have time for a grounding exercise. Would that be the right time to start doing that? Because I'd love to look at the technique of something like that, also the effects of that, and then maybe to have a reflection afterwards about what we felt.
Absolutely. So just one thing before starting, I usually ask to people to close their camera so they can feel more comfortable. So feel free if you want to close your camera or take it open as you prefer. Welcome to this focus session. I'm Daniele, your Breathwork coach. Find now a comfortable position where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. Please gently close your eyes. We are about to begin a simple practice of body and breath awareness to recognize your natural focus. Let's start from the ground up. Bring your attention to your feet. Notice the contact with the floor, the pressure, the temperature. Slowly move your awareness to your ankle and then to your knees. Simply notice any sensations, whether it feels heavy, light, tense, or relaxed. If your mind drifts, kindly bring it back to your body sensations. And now, let's move a little bit upward. Shift your focus to your lower back and feel the support of the chair. Feel the gravity of your body. And slowly bring your attention up along your spine, like a soft warm light going up. Feel each part of your back gently waking up. Starting from the lower back, let your awareness rise. Vertebra after vertebra. Through the middle of your back. And then rest gently on your shoulders. Notice how your spine is one strong line of support, connecting you between the heart and the sky. And finally, gently shift your attention from your body to your breath. Simply notice its natural rhythm without modifying it. Notice how your chest or belly softly rises with each inhale and falls with each exhale. If thoughts appear, acknowledge them kindly, as if they were passing clouds in the sky. Listen the sounds of your breath and try to connect with that. Without judgment, just feel and observe it. With each cycle of breath, feel how your body becomes grounded, your mind clear, and your presence more grounded in this moment. Now, take just a moment to appreciate this state of focus. Notice how your body feels now. and the calm and clarity in your mind. Allow yourself again to recognize that even in just a few minutes, you've been able to pause and reconnect with yourself. Remember, your body and your breath are always here for you. And when you feel ready, begin to invite a gentle movement back into your body. Slowly wiggle your shoulders and fingers and, take one deeper and fuller breath in and out. And here we go again.
Thanks, Daniele. Drastically shifted how I felt from before in the zone doing a podcast with you, enjoying myself, to grinning because I thought, how cool is this? I'm doing a podcast and a grounding work session with music. And then a lot of gratitude. A couple of times I had to bring my mind back to what was going on. And there were also sounds around in the household, which is normal. But it was so nice to be able to focus on specific things. So I was focusing on the hips, then the spine, and so there was always something for the mind to focus on, which is good. So you can make that choice between if your mind drifts, bringing it back to something. And it was so nice because it was like a framework for the mind to follow. And then, towards the end, I thought, how cool is it going to be in a minute to go with my children to the playground and feel kind of refreshed and a bit grounded. So, a lot of gratitude. So thank you very much.
I'm super happy to hear your enthusiastic words. The breath, this type of easy exercises have more than 2,000 years of stories. People, our ancestors, has to, they didn't have medicine, pills, etc. They just have maybe natural way to feel better. And I truly believe that medicine, pills, etc. They can be super important. Science in this field is making huge discovery. But at the same time, you are using that in a lot of ways in our lives without know the foundation.
100%, yeah. Without trying this and researching this first. And I remember at the beginning of the podcast, I also thought, well, he looks at it, he being you, Daniele looks at it as the foundation kind of that you have to set for yourself first.
Absolutely.
What was the final sentence you said in the your body and your breath are here?
Your body and your breath are always with you.
Yeah, I think that's
always.
So nice because that's that coming back to that anchor of the episode, kind of from looking to control everything around you to focusing on something you can control. And that's something we do forget all the time, that we can control our breath. And I'm definitely someone who tries to control everything around me, but I kind of forget this internal climate of how we feel. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And
My pleasure.
I like that sentence a lot because if you're a busy mum doing the washing up, doing juggling kids, food, the household, maybe work, career, whatever it is you're juggling. I just went to the dishwashing machine because I know my wife was juggling that today. We take turns juggling, but I digress. But it's something. Just thinking of a busy mum juggling kids and the chaotic life of the wonderful life with kids, but it can be chaotic. But having something like this, I mean, how long did we do? We did like 5 minutes. So people have earpods. They could, if the kids are at daycare and you have 5 minutes before you need to drive back home again, you could do this in the car. Relatively easy.
Yeah.
To shift your state, shift your state, and what made me think of that was those two the last sentence with your breath is here. Yeah, your breath and body are here.
Yeah. That's the goal, man. There are, as I said before, we breathe more than 20,000 times per day, maybe at times 25,000 times per day, and we are not aware about what we are doing. But, just with our body, with our breath, working on the regulation of our nervous system, we can make a huge change in our lives. And this doesn't mean that you will not be stressful for the rest of your life. This morning I was super stressful, to be honest. But before starting the conversation with you, I sit down, I just make 5 minutes of my breathing exercise, and then I was ready for doing that, for being present for me and for you as well, and for the people that will look this episode. And that's the power of the breathing, and that's why it's so useful for the time so crazy that we are living right now.
100%. It feels like one has to fight to reclaim focus, fight to reclaim space in one's calendar, especially the phone, swiping on the phone, being on the whole time. So, and it comes back to what you said earlier, starting small. So maybe I'd invite you to a bit of a reflection now. We've had a coaching session together, and we had a kind of a grounding exercise. Maybe I'll go first as the coachee. So there was a lot I learned, and a topic that has never really fit into my kind of lifestyle, or I often thought it's something like it's not for me. I'm definitely more interested in investigating into this. Big learning was that how you spend your day leads up to the quality of sleep, and that kind of the way you lead your life can compound and improve sleep quality quite significantly. I love the bit that we had about the calendar, where you could challenge me like, hey, what could you do about that? What's stopping you from doing that? And I think it's on me to reclaim some space towards the end of the day to help me do that switch of laptop closed and rejoin the family already with a mind that's more calm, not racing from one thing to the next. I also love the dog walking thing, because that is very, very easy for me to achieve. I do it anyway. All I need to do is to hit the off button on Netflix maybe 10 minutes before I usually do, put on my jacket and actually walk down the street to the park or around the block. So those are some of the learnings. And I think the topic got kind of reinvigorated, more energy in the topic. And I want to learn more, but I'd invite you to reflect as well about the coaching session.
Yeah. So for me, this coaching session was a beautiful moment, to share with you what I honestly learned in the last 3 years. Because, and I absolutely love it. I think that to reach our goal, we have to challenging ourselves every day. And I'd like to share with you just one details about my story that could be that maybe can help you understand what I'm saying. 3 years ago, I wasn't able to, just saying just one word in English. My level of English was 0. That's why I started to share everything in English with LinkedIn, because I need a urge to share who I am, but at the same time, I I needed to learn a new language and be here and being able doing that in English, in non my native language with you, for me, it's a super success. And to be honest, I'm grateful for this moment, and I'm so proud of me, and I'm happy because. I was able to build my own business thanks to LinkedIn, and the thing that I like to share after this coaching session is just that I'm very very happy. It's a gratitude.
Lovely. So I've got two questions for you, dear Daniele.
Sure.
Imagine the listeners passing a billboard on the highway, one gigantic billboard. It's your billboard when it comes to breathwork. What would your message to the audience be? They see this every day on their way to work.
Yeah, I think that we just have to reconnect with something that we have in our body, and just stop and start to listen. That's how we start, and this is the first action to the first start little action to create you know like uh, um like you know something huge during the time. We have to, as I said before, we have to start small. We have to start with something that we have to be aware of that, and from that we have to cultivate this little thing.
I like the billboard. So also starting small again, something that you can control, and from there you can build, and the power of that would be huge, I think. What would one simple thing you would like to give the listeners that they could start trying to implement over the next week?
Sure. There is one specific breathing technique from the oxygen advantage that it's called light breathing. It means that we have to work on a slow and deep speed of the breath, and also we have to reduce the amount of air that we insert in our nose, and we have to do the same when we exhale. So it means that we have to create a sort of light air hunger, a tolerable air hunger. And if we perform these breathing techniques, maybe 5-10 minutes in the morning and 5-10 minutes during the night, during the time, we will improve a lot our breathing pattern, because that sensation of air hunger, it helps us
What do
to
you mean when
raise.
you say anger?
It means that you have to feel a sort of urgency to breathe,
Ah.
because you are reducing the amount of the air that you are using when you breathe. Maybe if when you breathe you use 100% of the air,
Mm-hmm.
I ask you to use maybe 50%, 60%. And
Mm.
this will cause you a sensation of that okay, now I have to breathe, it has to be tolerable. You have to do that in a safe environment, maybe when you are on your sofa or in a quiet place. But this practice is super useful to improve your carbon dioxide tolerance. That's the crucial point to improve the oxygen delivery in your body, because CO2, carbon dioxide, is a crucial element for the chemical reaction inside our body to deliver the oxygen.
Mm. Thanks for that on behalf of the listeners. So, where can the listeners find out more about you? You already said LinkedIn. Is there anything else people could go to or look at, or when they want to find out more about you?
So for the moment, just LinkedIn, it's my main platform.
Thanks for joining us today on this episode of Coach Me If You Can.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. It was a beautiful experience. And so thank you so much.